The number of people filing first-time unemployment claims has dropped to under 500,000. The Department of Labor reports 498,000 people submitted claims in the week ending April 30th. That is 92,000 fewer people than the previous week. The average of continuing claims is also falling, but both numbers are far from reaching pre-COVID levels. So for more on this, let's bring in Mark Hamrick, a senior economic analyst at Bankrate. Mark, welcome. Always great to see you. So this is the first time claims are below 500,000 since the beginning of the pandemic. Do you consider this significant?
Oh, it's absolutely significant, Tanya. Good to see you. I think that for some, this barrage of good economic news is almost unnerving because to some degree we have been unaccustomed to it for the past nearly 60 weeks. But this is a trend of improving news, not only about the job market or addressing the number of newly unemployed, the same with job cuts, job cut announcements. And so I think it's something we can embrace and have some confidence that this will continue for the foreseeable future. There's more healing to be done, and we will see more healing in the U.S. economy and the job market.
So these continuing claims are still elevated, but coming down as well, as we mentioned. What does that signal to you? And do you believe that those will continue to drop? Because really, in some ways, that's the number that's sort of the more worrisome, right? The number of people who, for a significant period of time, still can't find work.
Well, there are a lot of numbers that really do matter, and they underscore the fact that we need to associate ourselves with the severity of a continuing problem. So to break that down for people a little bit, the continuing claims number, roughly 3.6 million, is those who continue to get benefits through the traditional programs administered by the 50 states and 3 other governments, including the District of Columbia. And then we have 16 million Americans still receiving some form of unemployment benefit that includes the programs that are new, created by Congress and approved by presidents in response to the severity of this crisis. So absolutely, we do need to see those numbers come down because they tell us people essentially have qualified for that assistance. And we will see those numbers come down because, as you know, we've got a monthly employment report right in front of us. We'll have others down the road, and they are expected to continue to show dramatic improvement of the job market and the economy. And by the way, on those heightened and extended benefits, that has a known end date of essentially, ironically, Labor Day later this year. Those programs will run out. And so this is not a so-called free ride that goes on forever.
And so despite these falling, the fall in some of these numbers, there are companies reporting that they're having trouble finding workers. Why is that? Is it the openings are not matching the people looking?
Well, these reports, anecdotally and even embodied in the Federal Reserve's Beige Book survey and elsewhere, are quite common now. And they are for many different reasons. First of all, for those who were newly unemployed, that was a severing of the relationship they had with their employer. They might have been furloughed and told, think about us in the spring or something. But, that was an end to that relationship. And so many moved on. Either they found employment elsewhere. Think about all the gig economy jobs that opened up. People wanted their food deliveries, and people found those opportunities. Some are mistrustful of the vaccines, aren't getting them. As we know, that's another issue, and have not gotten the vaccines. They don't feel it's safe to go back to work. And there is an underlying, I would say, criticism that comes from business trade groups and business operators who say that the heightened and extended unemployment benefits is making it more difficult for them to bring workers back. There is a political component to that as well on both sides of that argument.
All right. Well, Mark Hamrick, thank you so much for joining us. As always, we appreciate your financial insight.
Thank you.